Great Unias placed his meditation rug on the ground. He sat, cross-legged, facing the sun. The arid landscape glowed with vibrant hues of yellow, orange, brown, and green. It was simple, but it was everything he owned. He inherited the property around the mineral hill, but Unias had grown beyond the wealth of his father. He purchased the adjacent bushlands and the pond which fed its trees. Around them, he set up a high gate to keep predators and the rest of the world out. He took long and short breaths. The bells on his bracelets rang out, and he hummed until he could feel the low buzz of his inner being, vibrating upward. He closed his eyes, focusing on everyone who was most important in his life. Soon he could no longer hear the bell tones, nor could he feel his body. Sounds became scents, aromas became colors, and all the colors were tangible. His first wife, Tabitha, materialized before him. He could see her cooking over a pot in her outdoor kitchen. Their son, Guardo, came into view. He was walking up Parcello's hill. Next, he saw his second wife, Myra. She was molding soap into bars. Their daughters, Olive and Dana, were also trekking up the hill with Guardo. Unias lifted a prayer over his immediate family first. Then, he focused his mind on Yamani. Years before, when the young man was 8 years old, the shaman took pity on him and struck a deal with his father to bring the boy into his household, to serve as a gateman. Presently, the shaman could see that Yamani was in his quarters, pulling his body up in repetition, using a bar which was cemented into the wall. Another of his servants, Jarrell, was busying himself in the shaman's tent, preparing inventory they needed to fill a large order. Gerald's daughter, Alba, appeared next. She was gathering greens in the wild wood. Great Unias lifted a prayer over the servants in his household. Then he expanded his thoughts to include members of his extended family, his patients, and the members of the Anapo community, where his property was located.
It's terribly hot. I have to sit and rest a bit. Brother, I'm beginning to get dizzy. Aren't you, Guardo? Are you feeling too hot, Dana?
Well, yes, Olive. I was feeling hot when we were at the bottom of the hill, but I just didn't want to say so. And the sticky bushes keep scratching my legs. I can't believe Brother isn't hot too. Guardo, how can you take this heat?
Papa said this autumn would be the hottest we've had in years. He was
I wish I had
ever
taken
so
water
right.
before we started out.
I don't think
It's
people
a
are meant
long
to
way
be
up
in the
this
sun
hill.
all day.
My skin is burning,
I
Guardo.
would rather clean than gather minerals.
When he could take no more of their whining, Guardo stopped, sat on a rock, and addressed them calmly.
Any fool can see it's hot. No need to compound the discomfort with insults. If you anger the sun, he will withdraw from us altogether. Then, where would we be? Olive, I expect this behavior from Dana, but you are 11 now. Be an example to her.
I'm sorry, Guardo. Sorry, Dana. All these days going up and down to carry minerals, it's just too much. The healed cuts have been re-injured. What if I bleed to death?
Certainly, if you die, Papa will have to find another way to get his minerals.
Let us take some water and begin again. This time, let us praise the sun for shining. Perhaps he will become shy and hide his face.
After some time, the three arrived at a brilliant, variegated mound. Each colored stone represented a unique facet of healing on the mineral spectrum. Because the stones overlapped in various places, unique combinations offered other fantastic properties. The children followed their father's strict admonition to take more of the solid-hued stones. The other mixtures required experimentation. The children chopped away at the mound, filling their buckets with as many stones as they could comfortably carry. Moments into their task, as Guardo had predicted, the sun hid behind a cluster of billowy clouds. A refreshing, high-altitude breeze rattled the branches of wild plants around them. The strong wind moved the girls' thin bodies back and forth. They giggled, dresses flapping wildly, and prevented each other from flying away. Guardo took a moment to rest on the structure and drank from his canteen.
Look here! What do you think?
Possibly something for palsy.
No. The pink is for palsy. There's only a small amount of pink here. Brother, come and see.
Of course, this purple is for the skin. But what of the black? Have you ever seen black stones here, Guardo?
Never.
He chipped at the spot with his chisel, and a chunk of amethyst gave way to another stone. This time there was a thick streak of black running down the middle and a sliver of pink on the outer edge of the stone.
I know what you want to do. But Papa doesn't like us wasting energy on the experimental ones. We only have room for the ones we need.
But now I am intrigued. Guardo, you know nearly as much as Papa about the minerals, don't you?
Guardo was surprised and flattered at such an observation. However, he did not know more than what his father had taught him. Moreover, there were things he had been taught, which he was not sure he could recall. Nevertheless, he answered,
Papa has taught me many things. I have never put my skills to the test in the wild like this. But of course, I am confident in my ability.
Splendid! Then let us return after we take these things to Jarrell. The strange ones will be ours. We can experiment and sell our own concoctions. Why should Papa be the only one with money?
Upon their return, Jarrell relieved them of their buckets.
How did it go up there? Are the snakes still hibernating?
No snakes. The only pests I suffered were these two.
He's
Hey,
talking about
oh,
Olive.
Guardo, you're such a tattletale.
It sounds like I need to return to chaperoning you three again. Am I correct?
No, sir.
No, sir.
That's not necessary.
Guardo's mother busied herself around a pot where she prepared yellow beans and onions. Seeing her son, she beamed.
You are like your papa more every day. For a moment, the sun blinded me, and your frame appeared to me as your father.
Thank you, Emma. Soon I will be even more like him. I am nearly 16, no longer the baby you once knew. Examine my arms, Emma. See how firm they've become, just like Papa's. And see here, I have a mustache. And a small beard, too.
Yes, you are right. At first it escaped me, but I see your beard clearly now. Well, I wish you to be like your father in many ways. Only, I pray you will not abandon me as your father has done.
Emma, he has not abandoned you. Is it not the right of a man to have as many wives as he can afford?
It is. But do you not envy the way he dotes on his daughters simply because their mother is young and beautiful? He is harsh with you because he despises me. My age has betrayed us both. Promise me this, my son. No matter who you choose to be your first, you will always give her your affection. No matter how much her beauty wanes with age, no matter how dry her skin becomes, no matter how gray her hair turns, you will give her your affection to honor and remember me. Your promise is my gift to you both. She will be an irreplaceable blessing to you if you keep it.
Emma, yes, I promise. But you have it wrong. Papa is not harsh. He is teaching me his trade. It is a serious endeavor. My sisters will never have these cares, and it is right for their father to spoil them. As you have said, it is possible that one day they may have husbands who withhold their affections. Let them have his arms. It is a good thing for girls.
My son is growing to be a wise man. But today, he is still my stinky boy. Take some soap and wash yourself. Your food will be ready soon.
It was customary for each household in the shaman's compound to eat dinner just before sunset. The shaman had a hut where he stayed alone. His two wives had small homes of their own. Jarrell and his daughter had their own home. The gatekeeper, Yamani, also had a room near the entrance gate, and there was another construction taking place on site, as Guardo was in the process of building his own house which he would occupy once his manhood rites were complete.
I'm on my way to you, mistress. Good, Alba. You're back. Could you begin preparing the vegetables for dinner? I've been so preoccupied with soap, I haven't started anything. The girls will return any minute now. May I prepare a bit extra for my papa and I? I have also been preoccupied this day, Mrs. There's no need to ask, child. You are always welcome.
Emma, we're back!
What's this? More scars? Ugh. Why your papa makes you do these dangerous things, I cannot comprehend. Who will want you with scars lining your legs? Are you zebras?
It's okay, Emma. We decided that if Olive bleeds to death, we will protest.
Hurry and wash yourselves and come back with the pomade.
Guardo, how do you, my son? How was it on the hill? Any trouble with your sisters?
I am well, Papa. As with everyone in the compound. It was a hot day, that is all. I'm sure we will all be relieved once we fill the cattle order.
So true. And that will give Jarrell and I time to help you with home building. After that, we will intensify your training. Walk with me, my son.
Papa, I haven't changed my mind about it. I do not want your help. You built your own house when you were my age. Why do you lack confidence in me?
As you know, I have never entreated you the way great Parcello entreated me. In fact, my father was unnecessarily harsh and would have never offered to help me. But his father was also quite brutal. The war, you know. It makes good men monsters. Nevertheless, I did receive help from Sylvan, and the servants also.
And what did Grandfather say when you finally revealed the house to him? I'm sure he was impressed.
Impressed? Perhaps. But what he said was, well, as long as it keeps out the rain, it will do.
Sunset was fast approaching. Great Unias returned to his hut and tasked Guardo with asking what everyone had prepared. The shaman would eat dinner according to his preference. However, it had been years since Unias had eaten anything Tabby prepared.
Ow! Whoa, Emma, please be
Ow,
gentle.
it stings.
I'm so sorry, my darlings. Oh, hi, Guardo. Time got away from us today. I'm not sure if anything is ready yet. Alba, do we have anything to give? The vegetables are still hard, but the greens should be ready in a few minutes. The bread won't be done in time, though, Mrs. Gordo. Take a bar of soap to Yamani when you check with him. Tell my husband we have stew, if he can hold off.
Yes, Auntie Myra?
You came just in time. That big possum I caught a few days ago is ready to eat now. I have grilled bread, too, and soursop. Ask him if he'd like some.
You might as well give me his plate now. Save me a few steps. By the way, Auntie sent you a bar of soap.
After dinner, the compound was revived. Jarrell lit a fire, and everyone exited their homes to enjoy the cool evening breeze.
I can't explain it, Auntie Tabby, but she did get me chocolates.
Well, that is something, isn't it?
Watch me do a flip, Auntie Tabby.
Raga.
Papa.
Papa.
How do you, my husband?
Well, easy. Ardana has decided to become an acrobat, eh?
How do you, my husband?
Right. And I'm very good at balancing, too. See?
Tabby tried ignoring her husband, turning her attention to Alba, who was pulling herbs out of her tiny window box. She motioned politely, and Alba brought her mistress a few sprigs of rosemary.
Thank you, sweet child. Have a seat.
How do you this night, mistress?
I am well. And you? How are you feeling?
Still missing them, but managing, I suppose.
I'm sure. You know, it's all right to cry. When my mother went to join the ancestors, I cried for years. No one prevented me. You only get one mother. Grief has no expiration.
Yes, I know. Perhaps even after a year, I'm still in shock. I can't bring myself to tears.
That is possible. The fact that your sister decided to leave us so soon after it happened, that could also have hardened your heart a bit. I hope you will not absorb this anguish into your bones. It will age you before your time. Dear Alba.
Some time ago, I saw my sister in the market. She hired herself out to sell clothes for a dressmaker. She seemed happy. But I haven't seen her again since that day. The dressmaker's presence in the marketplace is sporadic. It was a small miracle I found her there that day.
Do you think she has found love? I mean, no one has come here to speak to your father on her behalf. And my Guardo was always quite taken with her. He was crushed when she left. If you see her again, please be sure to tell her.
For certain, I will, mistress. But whether or not anyone has asked for her hand, she blames your husband for our mother's untimely departure. And even if she and Guardo were the most divine of all couplings, she would never return. There is too much pain here.
Tune in next time for more of The Shaman's Gate. Last time on The Shaman's Gate.
Look here! What do you think?
I wonder what these black stones do.
I know what you want to do. But Papa doesn't like us wasting energy on the experimental ones. We only have room for the ones we need.
But now I am intrigued. Guardo, you know nearly as much as Papa about the minerals, don't you?
Papa has taught me many things. I have never put my skills to the test in the wild like this. But of course, I am confident in my ability.
Splendid! Then let us return after we take these things to Jarrell. The strange ones will be ours. We can experiment and sell our own concoctions. Why should Papa be the only one with money?
How do you, my husband?
Well, easy. Ardana has decided to become an acrobat, eh?
How do you, my husband?
Right. And I'm very good at balancing too. See?
And even if she and Guardo were the most divine of all couplings, she would never return. There is too much pain here.
Yamani says the animals are coming out of hiding now. Let's see if we can add some meat to our stew, eh?
Oh, yes, Papa. A nice venison. I haven't had a bite of it in so long, I've nearly forgotten the taste. It was her favorite.
Yes, it was. And that would be a treat. But it takes too long to prepare. Our priority is the cattle order for the next 2 weeks. But a possum would be nice, or even a guinea fowl.
On that note, Papa, do you think the children will need my help gathering minerals?
You know, if it were just the girls, I would say so. But Guardo is a steadfast boy. He won't let them mess about, not even for a second.
So now I just add a few drops of this. Let's see what 5 drops will do.
Hey, that was 7 drops. I was counting.
That's fine. 7. Olive, write that down so we will remember our measurements.
I'll remember.
Listen, I'm going to add this, but before I do, go all the way to the other side of that boulder, so you don't get this gas in your eyes.
Run, Danny! The noise stopped. Is it safe to come out now, brother?
Yeah, come on. Let's fill our buckets while that cools down.
Oh, great Yonius. How do you, my husband?
Where is everyone? And why do you look ill?
Nay, but I am well. Physically. The children went to the hill early this day. Perhaps to beat the sun. Alba is with her father, gathering in the wild wood. My sister wife has gone to deliver soaps to our in-laws, your brother's wives. And Yimani is likely still sleeping as usual.
All right. Well, I'll leave you to prepare for the day.
By their second return to the hill, Guardo decided to try the integrity of what he had created.
Oh, Dana, we're gonna be rich.
When I get my share of the profits, I will make shelters for all the animals in the wild wood.
Oh, shoot! Girls, hurry! Bring me some sticks! If my theory is correct, we're on the precipice of an amazing discovery. I was only using this stick as a stirring rod. But look at how the mixture has repaired the end of it.
What does that mean?
Show us what you mean, Guardo.
Look here. I've placed the broken end of the stick in the mixture. We know the purple stones are used to repair the skin, but it takes many applications to manifest good results. There was a bit of purple running through the stones, a bit of pink too, but more purple. I believe the black may be an accelerant of a sort. Do you see? It's nearly seamless now.
Oh, dear brother, apply a bit to my ankle.
And mine, too! Please, Guardo!
Calm yourselves. No matter how much your legs resemble them, they're not sticks. This mixture could be toxic. We need to consider dosages and other variables before we...
Just use a tiny amount. My blisters are painful, brother.
Guardo held his position despite his sister's pleadings. However, he offered a concession, saying he would watch the sticks over the course of a few days. If he found the progress favorable, he would test it on himself first. Although he had not complained, his legs were more scarred than his siblings. If his progress was favorable, he would apply the salve to them. With that, the children gathered their things and headed back to the compound. Guardo took the secret things to his unfinished house. The girls went home after washing their faces and hands. But moments later, they ran to Tabby's outdoor kitchen shouting,
Auntie Tabby!
Oh, it's Auntie!
Come quickly,
Auntie,
please help!
our mother is unwell.
What's this? What has happened, girls?
Emma is on the floor and she did not move. Please help!
Myra, are you well? She's alive, children. Since your father is praying, speak softly when you approach him. Say, your services are needed. Then, he will come out of the trance and assist us. Go quickly. I will do my best until you return.
Tabby rang together nervous fingers and panicked as she rushed to the well to fill a bowl with water. She carefully but desperately sprinkled Myra's fragile cheeks.
Please, my sister. Wake up. What will he do to me if there is no you? I know it is selfish to say, but you cannot leave us. Arise, my sister, I beg you. Oh, beloved Most High. Please.
Myra's breathing deepened, but she made no other sounds. Tabby thought of Alba, but remembered that she was out with her father gathering plants in the wild wood. She had seen Guardo heading to his unfinished home, so even if she called out, he would not hear her. Yamani, who only alighted to the sound of the cowbell on the gate, was likely sound asleep in his room, meaning a call to him would be useless. Tabby's heart thumped a raging beat as she checked outside in the direction of the shaman's meditation mound. The distance was too great to determine whether he was still there. Suddenly, she heard aggressive feet approaching from beyond the trees. Finally, they had arrived, sending a faint wave of relief to Tabby's chest.
Her breathing is steady, but I cannot awaken her.
The shaman stepped around his first wife and opened his medicine bag as he knelt beside Myra. He poured a yellow liquid on a ball of cloth and waved it beneath her nostrils. Suddenly, Myra's eyes blinked rapidly, but she had not yet found her voice.
Can you blink your eyes twice to answer my questions? Good. Very good. Now tell me, did you fall and hit your head?
She shook her head, trying to clear her throat. Finally, she labored through a raspy voice.
It was a spider.
Her head fell backward as she cast a dizzy gaze at her husband. He searched her limbs until he found the hardened bump just below the back of her knee. The shaman pulled out his powder, pinched Myra's mouth open, and tapped in a few drops. He grabbed the bowl of water and poured it slowly, encouraging Myra to take in the medicine. She gagged slightly as the medicine made its way into her body.
Olive, go and wet a poultice for her.
When Olive returned, he placed the poultice atop the offending lump. Myra's deep brown eyes rolled open, and the shaman was satisfied she would recover.
You frightened us, my dear.
I'm sorry. My husband. I was preparing a meal, and a spider fell on my shoulder. I thought I had shaken it away. Alas, no. When the room started spinning, I had only enough thought to put out the fire, but I could not make it to the door to call for assistance.
And so, Anansi, the trickster spider has robbed you of your dinner. Well, never fear. Certainly there is something prepared around the compound.
But nay, my lord. The servants were gathering in the wildwood today, and I had to abandon the meager apportionment of stew which I was preparing. Perhaps Yamauni has something, but he does not often prepare anything substantial. The sun will not light our way to the market and back again at this hour. What shall we do?
Go and finish preparing your stew, woman. Bring me a full bowl when it is finished.
My lord, the meal is not even enough to satisfy the bellies of my son and myself. How then may I separate it?
Your complaints bore me, woman. Go and do as I say.
Tabby returned to her outdoor kitchen. She replaced the pot on the fire and added water to stretch the contents into a soup. She added chopped rosemary, hoping to build more flavor. Just then, Alba and her father returned. Seeing this, Tabby ran to the girl and took a few of the herbs and wild onions to add to the pot. Guardo, who was previously molding the cob seating area in his house, noticed the time and made his way back to the center of the compound. His sisters ran to him, informing him of the happenings. Guardo was happy that Myra was recovering, but said nothing more.
Our mother may need your salve. Let us have a bit.
No, Olive. Perhaps that would make things worse. Papa knows how to cure a spider bite. Trust in his skills.
But it takes too long to heal, brother. Just give us a tiny pearl of the ointment. A small amount will not hurt her.
No.
Join us next time for another episode of The Shaman's Gate. Last time on The Shaman's Gate.
If my theory is correct, we're on the precipice of an amazing discovery.
Emma is on the floor and she did not move. Please help.
Please, my sister. Wake up. What will he do to me if there is no you? I know it is selfish to say, but you cannot leave us.
You frightened us, my dear.
I'm sorry. My husband. I was preparing a meal, and a spider fell on my shoulder.
My lord, The meal is not even enough to satisfy the bellies of my son and myself. How then may I separate it?
Your complaints bore me, woman. Go and do as I say.
Our mother may need your salve. Let us have a bit.
No, Olive. Perhaps that would make things worse. Papa knows how to cure a spider bite. Trust in his skills.
But it takes too long to heal, brother. Just give us a tiny pearl of the ointment. A small amount will not hurt her.
No.
Grand rising, my son. How did you rest after working so hard yesterday?
I rested surprisingly well. Working in the tent is 100 times more tedious than gathering minerals. Precision is vital, but I must admit, I ruined some of the stock. But Jarrell has been a patient teacher. He reminded me of Miss Winnie.
Yes. I miss her very much too. But Guardo, on the topic of training, there is something I want to show you outside.
What do you mean? Just yesterday she was preparing her wares for market day.
I know. She's trying to do everything, but she's visibly weak. And that bruise, it appears even more offensive now. Papa. I am concerned she's not well. But who am I to say that to her?
I don't believe she would scold you if you voiced your concerns. The shaman is keeping an eye on her, but certainly we have been preoccupied with such a large order. I'm sure we'll all celebrate once it is delivered.
Oh, yes, Papa. And I think you shall have better progress now that Guardo has helped you these 2 days.
Well, he's certainly trying his best.
Meaning what? He's not succeeding?
Meaning, I think our Guardo underestimated what an exact science alchemy is, but he's getting there.
Be patient with him, Papa. I'm sure one day, very soon, he'll be as great a man as his father. At least, the potential is there.
So why did you not inform me of this yesterday? I would have given you something stronger than the poultice and the anti-venom. Now it's infected for sure.
I felt quite stable yesterday. Mostly. And I didn't want to spend another day being useless and making poor Tabby manage everything on her own.
To be clear, Tabitha was running this place like a well-oiled machine long before you arrived, my dear. She can handle it. You, on the other hand, will truly be useless if you get blood poison and die. Understand? And all this jostling about speeds you to that end. So, get down, put on your bed clothing, and rest.
My husband. Oh, all right. I suppose the girls have been good little helpers? I'm sure they won't mind doing my chores for one more day.
They will do what is required for as long as it is required. One more day. Let us agree in prayer on it.
Bread? You want me to learn to bake bread? But why?
Many factors have led me to this way of thinking. 2 days ago, when your father performed that miracle of duplicating the bowls of my stew, I just could not believe my eyes.
Oh yes, Emma. I think it shocked all of us. I anticipate learning how to do things like that. Not... well, domestic things. Like baking bread.
I understand. But as you have said many times, you are too big to carry on my back. In a few short months, you will be a man. And you will not marry right away. It is good for you to know how to prepare your own meals. That is the one thing I can give you that your father cannot. He would be lost or penniless if he had to feed himself.
But you know that I have grilled meat before. And when I become a man, will you withhold your victuals from me? I am not leaving the compound.
Oh, Guardo, don't you see that I could be? You know what happened to your grandmother once your father took his manhood rights. Parcello sent her back to her family. I want you to have the best of both of us. His trade, and my talent. And I want you to have something of me. To remember me.
Well, I guess I should begin the day. But there is a question preying on my mind.
All right, ask.
Once the order is complete, and we get the money, would it be too much to ask for something from the market?
What a strange question. Do you not buy things you like when you are paid? Unless the thing you want is very expensive. What do you want to buy?
No, nothing expensive. I have seen some women in the marketplace adorning their hair with beautiful, colorful barrettes and hair ties. I would like to wear something like that in my hair. But I'm not sure if you would approve.
You know, if Winnie would have agreed with it, I would have said nothing. But this decision being left in my care, I will have to say no. Firstly, I am aware that you are a woman now, and you can do as you wish. However, it would certainly give me pause to see you wearing such things. I mean, it makes me wonder if you are trying to call attention to yourself. And if that is so, then for what purpose? If it is for Guardo, the two of you have sprung up together. He has seen you in nearly every state. Is it for Yamani? He is a good man, but he has nothing to offer you, my dear. Or perhaps you think great Unias wishes
Papa,
to—
please, I must protest. Please forget this matter. I wish I had never opened this conversation.
Alba, you are beautiful just the way you are. There is no need to wrap yourself in a bow and display yourself for all the world to see. I want you to be a proper lady, not a spectacle. A good man will not want such a female in his company. Please take care to remember that.
Well, I did not know that. I wanted to do something improper. And just to be clear, I did not think of it in that way. So, well, that is settled and I will go to work now. But will you need my help with grilling this afternoon?
No, it's a large animal, but not so big I would need any help. On that note, it seems quite fatty, so I wonder if there'll be enough meat to go around.
Ha 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 ha. Perhaps great Unias can wave his hands over it and utter a few abracadabras.
I mean it, Dana. If you mess about again today, I'll tell Papa.
But I wasn't. It just takes me longer.
Well, you'll have to go faster. That's all. I have to help Auntie Tabby get ready for market day, so I won't be able to do everything for you. Don't make those eyes at me. No one likes cleaning the outhouse, but no one likes a dirty one either.
If I were bigger, I would hire servants, especially for cleaning the outhouse and clearing the chamber pots. And I would put a cold box in it for the hot days.
Finish your food. We have many chores this day.
That's right. Inhale big and slow. You will have to sleep while this works through your body. It would be unbearably painful otherwise. Good. Let me know when you begin to feel drowsy.
Oh, Unias. You treat me so well. Oh, Unias. You treat me so well. Take good care of me. Bring those sweet lips to me. Bring those sweet lips to me.
My dear, lie back and take a few more breaths in the cloth.
So good to me. Be sure to send for me when I'm all better. So,
So, horse would.
Good day, Jarrell. I apologize for being tardy. My mother needed my assistance, so
No apologies necessary. How do you this day?
trying to remain optimistic after my performance yesterday. Does Papa still not know of it?
Nay, so, and he need not know. You see, Guardo, everything that is anything can be used for something. Although the pellets you made are too stiff for the cattle, if we crush them, then add a bit of hemlock and ashwagandha, they become nice head powders. The hemlock Alba collected is dried and ready, so, you see, I placed a lot of them under the cabinet tarp. If the shaman sees them there, he will know their purpose. He will not even bother to ask.
Well, thank you. So should I begin working on that now? Crushing the pellets, I mean.
Actually, I would prefer that you try mixing a few batches of our powder mixture again.
Really? You're not afraid I'll ruin them again?
Just take your time and bring the powders together slowly. I have prepared enough fluid here to make about 50 pellets. Remember to watch your fire. The tallow should be malleable, but not too soft.
So, why the sudden interest in stocking up on head powders?
Papa?
Completely down to me, sir. I have been so distracted lately, and a bit overwhelmed. But Guardo reminded me that we could make head powders out of those blocks, so I just put them under the top for later.
I believe your words. Especially since I know I was extremely clear when I instructed you to have my son do simple tasks. Most especially because I noticed he took, with no one's permission, my tetrachlorosol, which could have burned his eyes out. And especially since he should still be feeling the sting of the lash I gave him for doing so. Not in 100 midnights would my son go near my chemicals without my personal say-so again. That would be absurd.
Excuse me, mistress. Have you anything more to place in the cart?
I do, and keep space for the bread our Guardo will offer.
Bread? From Guardo? Since when, pray tell?
Oh, my son has many talents, my dear. And once he realizes it, he will be unstoppable.
Join us next time for another episode of The Shaman's Gate.